Hello folks, and welcome to the channel. I got another creation kit tutorial for you guys today, but first let's get this YouTube stuff out of the way. If you like the following content, make sure to smash that like button and then go ahead and share it on your social media. When you share it on your social media, follow me on that frog app. Link is in the description. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and do that. Click the notification bell for all. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them down below the video and I'll get back to you because I read all my comments, guys. Those are all the free and easy things that you can do to help support the channel. If you want to support the channel directly, look down in the description. Use the Ko-Fi link to do a one-time tip or join as a channel member, guys. All right, let's get into this. Roll that intro. Okay guys, in this tutorial we are going to learn how to make a cluttered bookshelf. Now you have to have a bookshelf to start with. Now I made this one for my new mod that I'm rebuild a Viper mansion that I'm working on. Now what I mean by a cluttered bookshelf is like this. These are all Skyrim vanilla meshes. So we're going to make a cluttered bookshelf. Now, to actually do this, you're going to need to be able to import Skyrim meshes into Blender. Now, I use, it's called Niffly. It is a add-on that you can pick up. Just search it on the, web on Google, and it is import the NIF format is it's Niffly anyway is what it's called. So you have to have that add-on. Also you have to have your Skyrim vanilla assets unpacked. I have all of those here unpacked into a folder on a different drive. So yeah, now we're gonna make a blacksmith shelf. So we're gonna need the ingots and stuff. Now those are found in dungeons, in mines, and in the ore folder. These are all the ingots. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to import one, and we'll go to import, go down to NIF with Niffly, and navigate to our assets folder. Remember I said it was in dungeons, mines, and ore. Now I'm going to start with on the top shelf. I'm going to start with corundum. And it'll give you this right here, and I have the textures turned on so it will show everything. Now I'm going to take it, I'm going to delete everything but the shape, all the BS flags, the collision, all that, so it's just this right here. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom out here, and G and Z to bring this up here. And then I'm gonna bring it all the way up to the top shelf. Just like this. And this is pretty easy stuff. This is just moving these things around. You just want to make sure you get it at the edge of the shelf there, even with the shelf. I'm going to take, I'm going to rotate this. And I'm just going to put 90 degrees in here. It doesn't matter either way. And that'll be fine. So I'm going to move this over this way. And that looks good there. I might want to move it forward, but if you don't really have to. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the gizmo off here. Now I'm going to push tab, and then I'm going to go up here to this mesh drop down, and I'm going to hit duplicate twice, and then G, then X, and that will bring that right across just like that. Now I want to put 3 across, 2, then 1 on top. So I'm going to do it again. Duplicate twice. G, then X. Like this. Try to make sure they're positioned correctly. And then I'm going to do it again. Duplicate. G, then C to move that up. Now this makes it so it's just the one shape, because you're just duplicating the parts of the mesh. So that makes things quite a bit easier. And we'll do it again. Duplicate. X. Like that. And then one more time. Like this. D. D. Now, it's good to keep centering it up so you don't really get too lost. So you're not like misplacing things. Like that. And then G, X, bring that over. So there's our little ingot stack right there. Now I'm going to take this top one and I'm going to kind of turn it like that, just so that it's a little more, has a little difference in it. All right. And we'll go ahead and we'll click off that and go back to tab. And that is our first ingot stack. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stack up some ingots across here. I'm probably going to have like 3 stacks, and I'll get back to you guys when I get that done. Okay, as you saw from my little time-lapse footage that I did there, we've got these here. Now these are all one shape, and I added them all into the same collection. Now I'm going to rename this collection, and I'm going to call this ingots, because that's what it is. Now, if you're not happy with the placement on it being centered up, which I'm not really all that happy with it, you can just select all of them, G, then X, and move the whole set over a little bit so you can center it up like that. There you go, just like that. And that looks pretty good. So next shelf down here, I'm gonna do some things. I'm gonna do like a couple helmets and stuff. So it's the same process. You go and you import the NIF. Now helmets are in the armor, and I think maybe we're gonna do a blades helmet, and you got to find the ground object, blades helmet ground object. There we go. And that's the same thing. It's got collision on it, so you have to get rid of all the collision, get rid of the BSX flags, and it's just the helmet. And this way it's just the helmet. Don't take it off any of the textures or anything, because that will automatically set themselves in the mesh when you export it. So I've got this here. I'm going to take and I'm going to put this up into the same project and delete this, so this is all one project. So we're going to move this one up, G, D, like this. And I think that's going to have to turn around. Now these will use whatever textures you have for like armor and stuff too. So now if it's, now we're going to take and do it like this and come in from the side, because I want to have it where it's going to be rotated roughly like that. D, D, and still needs a little more rotation. That should do it. There, that'll be fine. And then I'm going to turn this 180 degrees. So 180 in the rotate thing here. And move it to the side over here. Like this. And then I'm going to kind of rotate it there. And that's how you use the armor pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and put some more helmets in here and do a time lapse. Okay, so that's the helmets. Next we're going to move on to doing some ore samples down here on the bottom shelf. So same process. Go here and you go to your ore where you got where the ore meshes are stored, which is in meshes, dungeons, mines, ore, and then you gotta kind of find what they are, because mine, ore, silver, I believe this is it. Not sure. I gotta look at the mesh. So we gotta open up ore, ebony. Yes, this is correct. So we gotta scroll down here, and we are gonna do, let's see, obsidian. That is the glass right there. Same process. Move all the extra stuff, the collisions, vertex shapes, invisi markers, and that, and then put that in your collection. Delete this, and we are going to place one of these. Now these are a little, this might be a little bit different. You have to play with it, because you know they're not, obviously they're not going to stack up like real correctly. So you know, you just kind of play with it, churn it as you need it. And I'm going to go like this. Actually, I'm going to go like this, and then I'm going to shut this off, duplicate it, mesh, duplicate twice, GX, like this, and then I'm going to take and move it around here, and then replace it, and that will be good there. Now I'm going to take and go in here closer so I can see what I'm doing. And then this one, I'm only going to do 3 of them, because really I only need to do 3. I'm going to take this one out, but then I'm going to take and yeah, I'm going to take and turn this around this way. It doesn't have to be exact. And then I'm going to tilt it up that way, move it up out of the shelf like this, and then move it over this way, and then move it up. And it doesn't matter if it clips in a little bit or not, like that. And it might look a little weird, but it'll be okay. I want to take and tilt this a little more. It doesn't matter if it looks like it's floating in the back, because it will it'll be fine. So that's good for that one. Now I want to have one right here in the front, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate this again, and then I'm going to move that to up here to the front. I'm going to turn it around this way, and then I'm going to take it, I'm going to rotate that so that it's flattened out. And that looks good right there. Sure, that looks great. Now I'm going to take it, I'm going to go ahead and put a couple more ore samples in, and then maybe we'll do just a couple of little other things. So I'll get back to you. Okay, well, that's done. Next thing is we're going to add some, add a weapons rack on the side over here for like weapons and storage and stuff I use invisible storage containers in my mods, and I'm going to put invisible storage over here. So I need a weapons rack, a plaque, one of those plaques. You know what I'm talking about. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go back into our folder, and then we're going to go to clutter and scroll down here, and this is weapons rack, and we need this one right here, the weapons plaque. Now that's going to be turned around the goofy way, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of the pivot points. We don't need none of that. We don't need that. We don't need none of these pivot points. We take all this stuff out because we don't need it. This is just the rack frame, and then take out all these sword pivot points and stuff like this. You don't need these for this. And this, we are going to turn this 90 degrees like this. Oh. Control Z, because I need to get rid of that. Now I can just go ahead and move these right into the ingots and just leave this rack frame here and delete it like that, and then it will just give me just the shapes. So I'm going to highlight both of these. I'm going to turn these 90 degrees like this, and then I'm going to turn it 90 degrees like this. Just like that. And then I'm going to move it over where it just comes out of the shelf. And then I'm going to move it up. And of course, easy. Of course, it's a little bit too big for this shelf. So I'm going to take and size it and just size it down just a little bit. That'll be fine. And we'll take and flap this in there a little bit more. Make sure it ain't flipping through the other side. Like that. That looks great. Now we're going to put a sword in there. And put a sword on there. So I'm going to take and I'm going to import the NIF. And I'm going to go up. I'm going to go down to, lost. There we go. And weapons, and I think I'll just use a steel greatsword. Steel greatsword, and I'm going to use a first person. Maybe I'll use a first person battle axe. No, I'm going to use the first person greatsword. This one hander, this one, and this one is good like that. We're gonna go down here and we're gonna get rid of all the extra crap, because all we need is just the shape. We don't need the blood edge or any of that. All we need is the shape. We're going to move that up, stick it in our collection, get rid of that. Now it won't show up with textures here, but it will in the mesh. So we're going to go ahead. You see where it has a pivot point over here. So what we want to do is set origin to geometry, and then we can just move it as we need it. And 90. And then we'll take and, oops. And then we'll take and rotate that -90 so that it's straight up and down. X, move it on the axis. Y, G, D. Zoom out here a little bit. And I'm going to take it, go like this so I can get a good side view. So GZ. And that should work right there. Now I just got to move it close enough to the thing there so it looks like it's on there. Now you don't have to worry about havoc or anything because this is going to be a static object. I got to move it down though so that it's not clipping into the top of the shelf. That looks good. And the X, hold your shift key for real fine adjustments. That'll be fine just like that. And back, oops. GY. And let me make sure this is all centered up here. And it can go over this way a little bit, and it's good there. So that's good. And I'm not going to do anything over on this side, but I might want to do like a shield. Yeah, a shield would be good. That would look cool. So we're going to go ahead and import a shield. And I think I'm just going to use a steel shield. So go down here to steel and find our shield. This is the same, this one here, and same process. Make sure to remove everything here that you don't need. You don't need none of this stuff. Extra string data, yeah. And move that up into the collection. And I think we're going to go ahead and turn it 90 degrees this way. And then we're going to turn it 90 degree, -90 degrees, so it's straight up and down like this. And GX to move it this way. And we want to look at it from this side. And D. And I think I want to take it up a little bit more. About like that. Now this one, I don't really want to go too close to the shelf. This will be good because I don't want it clipping through the back of the handle clipping through the back of the shelf. So that will look good, and that should be good. Now we're going to move on to exporting the mesh. All right, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save my project just so I don't lose anything. Now, in my collection here, I'm going to go ahead and click on the first piece, and I'm going to, oh, not get rid of this. I don't need that. I'm going to click on this first piece. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to hold shift so that it highlights everything. And then I'm going to push Control A. Hold Control, push A, and select all transforms. So that'll put that all straight down there. So we're going to go ahead and save that. So we ain't never got to worry about it again. And we're going to use export. Export NIF file with NIFly. Make sure you're on Skyrim SE. Take this charge and extension off. Just highlight it. Backspace. That's fine. And I'm going to import this to my new folder here. And I'm going to call this Blacksmith Shelf Clutter, so that I know what it is. And then I'm going to export, and it says export successful. So there we go. Now we're going to go ahead and close this program out, and we're going to start Body Slide. And we're going to open this folder. There's our NIF right there. And everything comes up just like it's supposed to. Got all the textures on it. It's just that. But it doesn't have a BSX flag. And we need this to be a static object. It doesn't need collision because it's on the shelf. The shelf will have the collision. So that's why we need Outfit Studio. So we're going to open up Outfit Studio. And we are going to import the floor from the ship that I always use. I always use this. This is a good one to use. Go to ship Kataraya, and then just this wood floor. I'm going to set this as a reference. And then I'm going to import the NIF that I just made. Back to desktop. Go to my new folder, import this. Just like that. Now I'm going to click on the first shape here, go to the last shape, hold shift, click on the last one. I'm going to right click, copy bone weights, just push OK. And then slider, conform selected, just push OK. Slider, set base shape, and then go to edit and hit reset transforms. Now go back here to the meshes window, use export here to NIF and aim it at that right there to overwrite it. And that's done. So good there. We could shut that. We'll open this back up and you can see that it has the BSX flags 130, which it's supposed to have, but it has a collision object. Just go ahead and right click, go to remove branch, and go ahead and sort by name and spells, sanitize, fix invalid block names, batch, update all tangent spaces, go to optimize, remove bogus nodes, optimize again, remove unused strings, and that's good, and save. And that is ready to put in my I'm going to go ahead and copy that because that is ready to put into my meshes folder for my mod that I'm working on. And I'm going to put this in clutter, miscellaneous, and I'm going to paste this in here. And now we'll go into the creation kit and put it into the game. Okay, here we are in my warehouse for my mod that I'm working on, and there is the original shelf that I made with the clutter. All I need to do is go ahead and duplicate that shelf and move that over here to the side. Now I need to import this here, and I'm gonna make me a new record here, and we're gonna call this Blacksmith Shelf Clutter. And I'm going to point this at my folder as soon as I get to my meshes here. As soon as I get to the folder. Clutter, miscellaneous, blacksmith shelf clutter. There it is right there. We're going to push OK and make a new form. Now I want to Shift F, get down right here and look at this shelf. I'm going to pull this in here, and it's backwards. So we're going to do it like that, and then we're going to try to move it to where everything is correct, and it is a little bit forward, so we're gonna move it back some. We're gonna use this over here as a checker, because this, we need this centered up right here. That looks good. And shield, we can take this shield, because you see there's a little bit of clipping, so we can move it just a touch over that way, because this will still be fine. Everything will be fine over here. Looks good. So save my mod, and we're going to select both those meshes. You just do like that, highlight them, copy them, and we're going to go into my house and wait for this to load up, which it loads up fairly quickly right now. And we're going to move out, and let's see, there's that. And I think I want this shelf to be right here, because I'm going to have my blacksmith forge right there. So I'm going to put that in there and turn it around this way, and it's already right on the floor. So I'm going to move this over this away some, and then I'm going to go ahead and move it back again. Just make sure that it's not clipping. And go ahead and center it up. So that looks good. Turn off our lights. That looks good. Everything's good right there. So I'm going to go ahead and go into game and make sure to save my mod. Go into game and show you how this looks. Okay, here we are in my test cell with my test moron here. He has no skills. And this is not my test cell. This is the cell I'm working on. As you can see, I got quite a bit done here. There's my original shelf. And here is my shelf that I just made. That shows up good. This over here shows up great. All the ingots come up and everything. I didn't have to do any textures. It uses whatever textures you have installed for the game, and that's great. Yeah. All right, guys. Remember, if this tutorial helped you, make sure to hit that like button, and then share it on your social media. When you share it on your social media, subscribe to the channel or follow on Rumble. And leave a comment if you got any questions underneath the video. I'll go ahead and answer those. I read all my comments. And then if you want to tip the channel, use the Ko-Fi link in the description to do a one-time tip or join as a channel member. All right, guys. That's going to be it for this one. Thanks for watching. Remember, until next time, keep your sword sharp. Don't be a milk drinker. And always watch the skies, traveler.